I have to admit that I feel humiliated as I'm getting ready to talk about my experience with humiliation. I have been feeling humiliated, and that has been a big part of my grief journey, my grief experience. I have been feeling humiliated that my mom died, actually. Um, uh, Back in 2017, when my mom had gotten diagnosed with breast cancer for the first time, she decided that she was going to go vegan, plant-based. She learned about Dr. Sebi, started following him, and we started living our lives completely different because I decided that I was going to cook her food and join her in this journey, like I'm her only child. So, it's up to me. I'm her son, and in many ways, like, the relationship with the single mother and her son, or a mother and her son just in general, you take this responsibility on to save your mother, to be the man in her life, to be able to do sometimes even the things that your father could not do. And I do have a phenomenal father. And what is true is that he is human, and he could not be to my mother what I knew that she deserved. Just like I'm sure in many ways, maybe she couldn't be to him at some point too. But I took on that role and that responsibility, like, you my mama. So just in the same way that you have made sure that I am always okay, I am going to always make sure that you are okay. And unfortunately, although things got beautiful and my mother was able to overcome breast cancer and high blood pressure and pre-diabetes and all these beautiful things, with this plant-based diet and, these herbs and alkalinity, and we're talking about just all of the beautiful things that having and living a plant-based lifestyle can do for your life. While all of those beautiful overcomings and transformations were very beautiful and miraculous, one of the things that stayed constant was my mom continued to be in relationships with folks who could not be to her maybe what she desired or what she thought that it was supposed to be, and in many ways, even what I thought that she was supposed to be with. And I continued to live my life wanting to save my mama. So when breast cancer came back again in 2020, I was in a brand new relationship. I was deep in love. Things were so wonderful. Even though it was the pandemic, things seemed to be like climbing. And I felt so resilient and like in my creativity at that time that I was just like trying to make it. I had just taken all of this plant-based goodness that I was cooking for my mother and created this business. I got all these clients. The money started flowing through. And I couldn't figure out why, out of all the things that I was experiencing, like I felt so inadequate and without. And I didn't know what that was, but I continued to push on because that's what, I had defined Stefan as, is as the resilient one. I continued to push on. And when I found out that my mother got breast cancer, I was like, oh, we done overcame this before. No chemo, no radiation. We know we gonna get on some herbs. We gonna go alkaline. We gonna drink this juice. And it's about to be good. We about to. And she said, Stefan, I want to do chemo and radiation this time. Like, they're really pressing for it. And, like we did the plant-based thing before, but like, it came back, and I just really don't want this to come back again. And, my thing always is like, I'm going to support my mother through whatever decision that she makes, because ultimately it's her that is at the epicenter of what the experience is. I don't have to sit and deal with what it is like to ever understand what the energy of cancer feels like inside of your body. And because of the way that my mom described it, and the fear and the terror that she couldn't even ignore, so much so that while we expanding on this business and I'm trying to tell the story, she like, no, like, we not going, like, I just don't want to talk about that. We went back and forth about that so much, And I'm just like, well, Mom, like, some people get diagnosed with cancer and like, they just like, it's the end. Like, it's the end at the moment of the diagnosis, and God gave you an opportunity to like have brand new life. Like, why can't we be secure in this? And in many ways, I feel like my mother feared showing up and saying that fully and expressing that fully, because I think that even she knew that it had not fully left her. And it wasn't until after she passed away and I reviewed the life that I know of her. Being abused as an early child, being taken away from your mama, moving from Alabama to California at 5 years old, growing up in a family that constantly uses and abuses and belittles as a tradition and a culture. It tears you down and tears you apart and tells you that you are not worthy of everything that you know that God has called you to do and to be in this life. Your family is your first enemy. And they create this voice inside of your head that you listen to every single day. I remember when my mother told me that she wakes up every single day and feels defeated. I'm like, you overcame cancer and you feel defeated. But it's interesting because I think that she always knew that the cancer never really went away. Because cancer is so much more than just a disease that is derived from the acidity that exists in your body from the foods that you eat, but the consumption all around, who you are with, who you are to yourself. How has that enemy voice that you grew up hearing in society, in your family, in your household, in everything, how is that voice still being a cancer to who you are in this moment? How is it still tearing apart your dreams and your hopes and the love that you have for yourself? The opportunities that you desire for yourself. How is this cancerous way of operating within inside of your own heart, mind, and in your body, how is it tearing you apart? My mama had all the detergents. She had all the, like, the healthiest woman I've ever, like, and she's always been this way. My mom's always actually been pretty health conscious, okay? She used to take the EBT card. My mom used to take the EBT card to Trader Joe's, okay? As a child. So the reason why I got into cooking is because I've always had exotic ingredients in the hood. Able to experiment and cook so many different things. My mother had a way of creating travel and exploration without having to go anywhere. And in many ways, I know that that was because she had to do that as a child. She had to go places in her imagination that the limitations of her mind that has been conditioned by people who don't know any better, people who also people who don't know any better. I can't skip over that. The D got never mind. I'm being holy. Hold on. Let me step into my you know, I'm feeling real bougie in this scarf, okay? That I got from Bali. I'm feeling very in my holiness, you know. But sometimes I put the hoe in holiness. And the D gets stuck in the throat. So anyway, I don't know why I said that. Oh my goodness. This is supposed to be about humiliation. My mother wasn't able to escape the other ways besides the physical, the non-physical, the energetic, the thought form, the heart form. She wasn't able to escape that cancer. The cancer of limitation that kept her from living the life that she wanted to live. And I certainly wanted to live with her. But she wasn't able to escape that. And the way that I see life now is so crazy that I don't look at her as a victim. I don't look at myself as a victim. I truly look at death being as on purpose as life. Death being so much a part of life that death is not the end. That we transform and we lose. We transform, we transcend, we shape shift. We shed our exoskeleton. We shed our skin, our hair. We go from yesterday to today, last year to this year, that person to this person, that form of thought to this form of thought. We are constantly experiencing death. There are some thinkers that actually look at the dawning of each new day as a small death. Every single time that we experience something new, we lose something that was. Or maybe that we have been conditioned to believe that it just was. I'm gonna get back to the point, okay? You gotta follow me if you want to. Gotta stick with me, because I goes on a tangent, but this is just the way my mind works. I know that the topic is humiliation. But everything ties together. Everything ties into one another. Because losing my mother was humiliating to me. And in many ways, I am still dealing with feelings of humiliation. Because I built a business where I called it plant-based food for the people, was the tagline. The name of the business is Plate of Hue. It was always supposed to be, food from my point of view. Because I created all these recipes with my mother inspired. Because I wanted her to be able to eat well without having to have soy, without always having to have gluten, without having to have all of these things. I learned the ways to transform vegetables and to make them delicious so that my mama could eat. And it was weeks that went by towards the last couple of weeks before my mother passed, that as I'm talking, I'm realizing that I'm, in the midst of the 4th anniversary of my mother passed January 29th, 2021. Her birthday is January 28th, and she turned 52 that day. She passed the day after her 52nd birthday. And we are coming up on 4 years of me navigating all of this humiliation that I have felt, talking all this shit about how good these plants are and how helping my mother overcome all of these things led to all these beautiful experiences. But ultimately, even the shit that I was selling didn't save my mama. It didn't save me. I didn't save me. I didn't save my relationship. I was so depressed, I moved to Bali so I could just break down and be able to energetically and financially afford to not work for a while. And I couldn't save my things, my belongings. I had to choose between my space in Bali and my belongings here in California, all of my business belongings. And I lost them in an auction. They auctioned my storage off last year, 2023. As a matter of fact, I forget we're in 2025. But all of that humiliated the fuck out of me. Most importantly, I was humiliated in the face of myself. Because I thought I knew. I thought I knew what I was doing, what I was saying, and I was sure. I moved with, there was fear there, but, my mother needed at one point in time 24-hour care. And my dad came, quit his job, and helped me take care of her. So that's the type of father I have been blessed with as well. And in that time, I personally was moving with so much vigor. Vigor, is that the word? I'm sorry. Rigor. I don't know. I just need to get out of that. I need to get out of that category. Um, I was moving with so much intensity during that time that I couldn't even be present and realistic with myself that I was experiencing my mother's dying process. And I felt very guilty about that at one point in time too. Yet I had an angel tell me one time, like, well, you didn't believe that your mother was gonna die, and that meant that you didn't give up on her. And that is the epitome of love. And at this point in time, I am freeing myself from the feeling of needing to have it together, and the feeling of needing to be in control over a life that I am not in full and complete control of. That as we see around the world, as we see in our own lives, there are going to be happenings and circumstances that are going to show you that the things that you thought that you know, you have no idea. And it's been a huge slice of humble pie for me. Because at 22, I thought I had the shit down packed. You know, working in the career, making the money, and living on my own and doing all the things. And at 33, I am here as a grown man saying that I don't know. And because I don't know, it has been extremely terrifying to step out and to trust myself enough with what it is that I am doing and talking about and sharing, to where I'm not selling something that, like, I ultimately don't fully know if it works. I don't fucking know that this shit works. I can tell you that it helped me. And just being honest about where I am, whether I choose to share that with people or not. But choosing to be honest in the mirror and choosing to love that honest self, choosing to have grace with that honest self, choosing to have compassion for that honest self, the self that has fucked up, the self that has been a victim and created victims, received harm and created and caused harm, that doesn't have it all figured out, that wants to be loved but doesn't know how to receive it, that has stepped on toes, that has ruined moments, that has fallen down, that will fall down again and get back up again and rise again, just like the sun. No matter how it seems that the death is being experienced, no matter how terrible it feels, no matter how horrendous it looks in God's eyes, it is all life. We are all sent here on a mission. an assignment to do something specific, whatever that is that we feel called to do or to be, to do and to be in this life. We are called here to do it. And when we complete it, we are called home. It is not a punishment. It is not an ending. The most powerful wicked that we can experience in this life is created within the hell of our own minds. The evil that we fear, the fear itself, we create it. And we recreate it. And we recreate it. And we feed it. And we give it the power that we ultimately deserve to hold on to at least a little bit for ourselves. I watched the cancer eat away at my mama. I watched it deplete her. And as I watched her my entire life give away everything to me, to my father, to the men that she chose to be with, to the person who I saw to be my stepfather, I watched her give it all away. One of the things that I always try to remind myself is I am my first vehicle. I am my first home. And I am my first gift. Whatever name that we call this creator, this universe, this most high energy, this allness, this interconnected, creative force that is expressed through every single living and breathing and experienced thing on this planet. Whatever it is that we call, that has blessed us all with our own experience, with our own will to do the robot if we want to talk shit if we want to have sex if we want to do the things that we want to do, ultimately. And not betray ourselves. If there is a piece of God expressing itself through you, then self-betrayal is the epitome of God betrayal. If God is in you and you are not loving your God, as you love others, if you're not giving grace to yourself as you give to others, if you are not able to give grace to others because you don't know how to give it to yourself, then you will continue to produce, I don't know what language I'm speaking, but you will continue to produce betrayed experiences out here in this world, because that's how powerful you are. And I just want to make sure that none of us ever forget it. I love you. Peace. Okay, I did that. Whoa. Oh my God. Snapping out of it. Oh. Whoa, that was so humiliating. I talked for a long time, 31 minutes and 25 seconds. Some of it didn't make sense. That's probably crazy as fuck. Oh my God. Am I gonna actually post this? That's how I feel. Am I gonna actually post this? I do feel like I look cute in my little hair wrap. With my Cal State Long Beach mom. Long Beach State mom. This is my mom's sweater. Because I am a graduate of Cal State Long Beach, California State University, Long Beach. Go Beach. Oh! We used to be the 49ers. But we ain't that no more. Is we the Sharks? I don't know. I've been a little disconnected. My apologies to the Alumni Association. I've been healing. Anyway, gots to go. Maybe I'll post this on YouTube. That'll be crazy, right? Like, oh my God, you got your first video out there. Nigga, the fuck? Oh my gosh, like, this self-love that I am cultivating right now, like, I'm very grateful for it because of the fact that I see God in everything. Like, I see God in myself, I see God in my family, I see God in society. I just feel like, well, I just need to love like God loves. Which is unconditional, which don't mean that I can't have boundaries. And it don't mean that I'm about to be letting motherfuckers play up in my face at all. At all. And I can move with grace and compassion for folks who don't know any better. Because I, too, have not known better at one point in my life and know from experience that there is always going to be something that I need to learn. That just in the same way that I am a teacher, I am constantly and forever a student. That God is a part of me, but I am not the whole and the complete. You ain't gonna start hearing myself hear me call myself Steezus. You know what I'm saying? Like, Stephesus. I ain't gonna go that far. Yeah. But I'm kind of erasing the lines of division because I see God in everything. I'm going to treat this tree like God. I haven't quite figured out what that means because I actually started eating meat again. But if God is in the leaf and God is in the fish and I'm eating God regardless and I'm taking this flesh of the plant and I'm taking this flesh of the scallop, I don't really know about it for sure. I do know a plant-based lifestyle is a great way, to invite nutrients into your body. And I love a wing. Like, giving myself chicken wings this past year has been so fucking free. Fuck y'all. Ugh. Because oh my gosh, I could talk about so much stuff and I'm just not right now. I'm just gonna end it like that. Like, fuck everybody and I love you at the same time. Because my goodness, everybody just needs to be able to live their life, you know? And I know the animals do too, but then like also tigers and lions be eating motherfuckers. Humans sometimes. You know how many people a hippopotamus didn't killed? Y'all don't be protesting the hippo. Don't protest me. What you should be protesting is these greedy motherfuckers that's making this shit environmentally unsafe. But don't protest me with my little wings. Me and my 8-piece. Me and my 8-piece is not responsible. And it is, right? Because I'm taking part in the system. But we gotta change this shit collectively. And in the meantime, if anybody growing chickens and doing humane, ethical, halal, invite me over and cook them, because I don't really like cooking. Oh, I really don't like cooking meat. Oh, I don't. I like working with plants so much more. But I do like a wing. I know it doesn't make any sense, but again, I don't know anything. I'm always a student, and you know, fucking charges to the game, not my heart. Love ya.